thing, and I am ready. Stream started. Good luck. All right,
You
so
know,
I
I'm much better at this game when I slowly read everything, but
okay.
I'm a very impatient person.
That's okay. We also have Simpson. He's a really good player, and
Hmm.
I had streamed his game last time as well. So yes, he can definitely help us both with the commentary and understanding the game and everything.
I hope so.
Okay, so guys are ready. We have pottery and metalwork. Metalwork is a great card to start with. So is
Yeah.
pottery. And the problem with metalworking is it eliminates all those little cards, and that means that pottery becomes more powerful after all the small cards are out of the way, which
I
is what's
tend to
happening.
like metalworking early in the game, but pottery later.
Yes, now see, it's Thwol's turn because Jamdalla, he actually got to play first because M is before P, so he took the first turn. But Thwol is actually collecting cards. That's interesting. You know why? Because he knows
Masonry or something.
he could
I mean, he can
definitely.
afford to do that because Oars isn't going to be in play.
Ooh,
So
sailing. Love that card.
yeah.
Right. Yep. That's the thing is that.
Well, so now Jamdalla's in risk of losing. No. So yeah, Wall just building up his board to do something. Jamdalla has to decide. Oh, now clothing.
Clothing is still a pretty good card to have early.
Yep. And I think that is exactly why Thwol melded two cards because he did not want um, sailing to get clothing, which would have meant that clothing would have gotten him almost monument. Well, not monument, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, would have got some achievements. Okay.
Nice. Now
So
clothing is a minimum of 2 points. Is city states non-purple?
It is a purple
No.
card, and the
No, no,
best
no.
way.
I meant like the effect.
Uh, it is the crown effect. See, when you see the demand, there
No,
is a
no.
tiny little crown next to the
I
I
know that.
demand.
What I was saying is some cards say non-green card. For a moment, I thought it was a non-purple card.
no,
Like
City States is any card. So Thwol could have given mysticism instead to cover up city states and kept archery on the board to alleviate the clothing, but obviously
if
doesn't
Thwol
want to
doesn't
do.
play a red or a green this turn,
But it's a couple of points.
it's
Maybe Thwol's
still
happy to give up the first achievement. Has a longer term strategy.
that's fair.
I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I almost think Thwol is collecting cards to do masonry, but that's just
That's
my
what I
thinking.
initially thought, but I'm not sure.
Plus, he can't meld masonry, the yellow card, because that would mean he'll have too many castles.
Yep, he'd have to do it all in one turn.
Yep.
Yes. Um,
But he could always change the person's play with mysticism anyway.
I mean, Jamdella won't use clothing because Thwol will get to go first, right? And so if Thwol melds a yellow card, then that's 4 points that Thwol gets. Or could you, or could
right.
just choose to meld a red or green card to get 2 points, and then. But we don't know what Jamdella's other card is, right? Whether that might be blue or yellow that would be meldable, or it's only the second action that Jamdalla gets. I would assume it's a colour that is already on Jamdella's board. And presumably, because we haven't seen Jamdella's hidden card, right?
We haven't, no.
That's still the card he had at the beginning, so I'm assuming it's not Oars, because if it was Oars, he might meld and use it.
Yep.
If it was the yellow
Yeah.
one.
And I think Thwol might have Oars in his hand. That's always a danger early on when you've got.
There you go. Yeah.
I was hoping for Calendar, to be honest.
Yeah. So Calendar gives him the leaf majority, which is just lost. So
You are right. Yeah, that was quick.
yeah. But Calendar's still good to use even if you share it, because it's 2 for your opponent and 3 for you.
Well, and Thwol cannot share it because Thwol has no
He
score.
doesn't share it. Yeah.
Yes. So it's still
a great card right now.
Yeah.
No, there you go. Now it's going to be city-states.
I don't know. Maybe a calendar.
I'm not sure what city-states. Does he want the wheel? Does he want me? I mean, he's not going to have the wheel because Calendar does a better job than the wheel does.
I don't think he'll get the wheel. He'll get mysticism if he does city-states.
Yeah, and I don't think that's particularly helpful.
Not really. You're right.
Yeah. While no 2s have been drawn, if Jamdella's picking up 3s, that's a good.
That's 3s early in the game are great against castles.
Now, if Jamdalla shares clothing, that's when we get to see the cards that are in Thwol's hands. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but he won't do that because that'll just, Thwol has a red card, which he probably does, right? Thwol probably has Oars, because we know Jamdalla doesn't. So, I mean, Oars, of course, might be the achievement. It might not be in the deck, but Thwol would mail first and get the 2 points for having a yellow card, and Jamdalla would get nothing.
Thwol has tools and code of laws, as you see.
Okay.
So, yeah. And Jamdalla actually got.
Okay.
And he might actually have a red card now.
Yeah.
He could. Machiner's okay.
That is a very interesting video your son is watching.
Oh, is it loud? I apologize.
No, it just sounds like happy music.
Yeah, it's listening to E. It's Rush E. It's a piano song.
Sounds like piano.
Yeah. So Thwol's just trying to get through that quickly.
I would meld to 3 and play machinery. What would you do?
Well, playing machinery, the only thing he could do is if he has a castle in hand, he could share machinery and score a castle from his hand.
But it's already exchanged, so if he plays as high as 3, for example, as long as it's not a yellow, then he would exchange his 1/1 for all of his cards in his hand.
Machineries doesn't
What's
have a
all behind
demand,
his cards?
No.
so they've both got 6 leaves. So machinery.
Oh,
Yep.
So it's only the
yeah.
small board from your hand with the castle, display of red cards
I
left. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. My mouse was making machinery larger and blocked.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
you
give me
know,
2 seconds. I gotta
pro.
yell at my kiddo and tell her to, you know, brush her teeth and get ready for sleep. I'll be right back. Thanks.
Ah,
Oh,
the good
Thwol
stuff.
must smell the red card. Ah ha ha.
Okay. That was a interesting play.
Yep.
I like that one.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Jamdalla didn't realise that it didn't have the leaf majority and thought it was just picking up an easy 2 points. So he's basically given Thwol a free meld,
Yep.
um, which
Misthink. That's funny.
You could always do city states, I guess. If he does city states twice, he could end up getting construction. Or not.
mm, I presume that was just to avoid Thwol getting it via construction. Right? I mean, you can't do anything with education at this stage.
I mean, you
Well,
can draw
obviously,
gold.
what would have lost both his threes to construction. So, okay.
Yep. He went, wanted to get the 3.
So, presumably, the 3 he got, at least Jamdalla thinks, is less good than education because it was education the one that he chose to protect.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the 3 he got
I
may have
don't
been.
know if education would have been any good for him, though.
Ah, okay. Currency. That could with that hand. That's not a bad scoring card for Thwol.
I think Jam might go for calendar and machinery, you can use it and share it and score a castle that is in your hand, score it and then get an achievement. If the 2
Ah,
in his hand, he can just do the dogma part, score a card from your hand with a castle. You may play your red cards left.
but
So
he would let the person do that first.
yes, but he has a 2 in hand, and if he scores it, he can actually achieve the first achievement.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Whereas if he doesn't, then Thwol can use currency
Oh, yes,
and achieve the
absolutely.
first achievement. So
And the other person's reds can't be splayed, so
yes, indeed. So
that's
he's
not
chosen
bad.
to do that. I think just to ensure that he gets the first achievement
Yes.
first,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, currency could easily score it, and so Thwol has no choice. It's not that you may score a card from your hand with a castle; it's that you have to score one. So Thwol will presumably
It's a good time for masonry. If he
Right.
doesn't have anything higher,
And
yeah.
the thing is, yeah,
he
but
could score it with currency anyway.
The ones in his hand, he has tools and code of laws in his hand, and that we already know of. And the
Yeah.
three may just be tools. Yeah, he could do two. Map making. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So Jam is going to score a two, and he's going to get the first achievement.
Indeed.
Yep. However, the downside is construction gets a three that's in his hand, which also means Thwol is going to get the second achievement.
Not this
Next turn,
soon.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
even this
So
turn, if he likes, he can do currency and get the next achievement, or two,
well,
four,
currency will
six.
only give him three twos.
Yeah, so that's six. Okay, you're
That's
right.
that'll be six plus the two he's already got. So he could do currency twice and would get. Actually, since he's given up a two, so I thought he would have given up a one last turn in order that he could use currency twice and still have two twos in his hand. Um,
I have a feeling he might go for a monument using currency. So, which would mean he will need few more cards in hands.
yes. Um, but I mean, had he scored a one instead of a two last time, then he would have had two ones, two twos, and a three, right? Which is better placed for currency to score, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's
Oh,
two
you're
turns to
right.
get one.
Yes, he should have gotten tools. Should have scored two tools.
Yes. So he's obviously has no interest in melding map making.
Nope.
Um, so he just this. So maybe the other cards he has some interest in possibly melding later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's still thinking, and obviously we knew what Jamdalla was going to do last turn, so I'm not quite sure what Thwol's plan is.
Problem with Thwol's thinking is he thinks way too much. He thinks and thinks and thinks, and he knows every card that is there, and he knows every card that could possibly in the other player's hand, and he fusses and he knows all those
Yes.
cards. He is.
So what do you think Jan will do this coming turn afterwards?
Um, I have a feeling he might go for calendar and might do machinery again. I don't know. It depends on what's in his hand. Unless he.
He he,
Hmm?
I think maybe
he might be
education is
educated
four.
Well, he has to score some more. I mean, yeah, he could do education and score.
yeah,
Sorry, grab a four,
because it might be something like gunpowder, which is helpful,
which
right?
would
So
be
when you get
good.
into the fours and you
Mm-hmm.
get the factories, he could do some damage.
Mm-hmm.
Because with currency,
But
Thwol will probably get the second achievement if he wants it first, right? Jamdalla's scoring options are slow, right? Because he
I
can only
think
score
Saul
machinery.
only has one good turn of scoring though.
Yeah. Okay, so is he going to use construction now to set himself? Yep, set himself up for monument
Yes.
next turn.
Yes.
And now all the twos have gone as well. So Thwol will be scoring threes a lot of the time
Oh, yes.
with currency and twos.
2, 3, 3. Yep. And
Yeah,
2, 3, 3.
and then 2, 3, 3. So that'll be 16 points in and monument in one turn, which is pretty good.
I mean, he can't really hoard cards, so I think if he could get doing calendar might not be the best move, but education you can just play the one instantly. It's a gamble, but
I mean, I would play education at this point because Thwol
yep.
is going to score a lot of points, and the best thing to do that is to try and start drawing fours and tech up a little bit. I think, but This is why I always lose to Thwol. So,
I fall into that same trap of
yeah.
teching up.
So, okay, so he did that, and I imagine he will meld it, and it's colonialism, which
Ooh.
is not the greatest.
No, but it still gets rid of his castles for being on top.
So
Now,
we're expecting currency twice from Thwol.
yes.
I don't know. I think he's gonna draw. Oh wait, never mind.
No,
Currency
yeah,
returns it.
yeah. I would be shocked if there's anything else.
Colonialism is not the one I would have hoped for.
No.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, with colonialism,
I'd have hoped for gunpowder, to be honest.
colonialism
Yeah,
has earned monument before. I have seen it in a couple of games.
yes. But Monument's about to go.
Yep.
2, 2, 3.
Yeah, and that's 9 points.
And another go of currency.
7 points. Okay.
Yeah. Which will be 2, 3. Yep.
One, two, three. Yep.
So this will be 8 points and Monument.
Yep.
It's a great turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, see, the thing was that he could have drawn a lot of cards by using wheel, but he was afraid of machinery. If if Jam had an extra leaf, he could have. Well, yeah,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
see how he
take
could
his
have
hand
gotten an
from him.
extra leaf. He already had plenty of leaves. Yeah, no, I don't think he could have
Yeah.
lost to machinery, but you never know. So 17 points, and he has.
I think he's stuck drawing, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is Jamdalla doesn't want to draw and not meld because any four left in his hand will can be stolen by construction.
Oh yes, it will be.
Yeah. So he kind of just has to blindly draw and then meld the four, whether he likes it or not.
Right.
Um,
Now, on the other hand, with mysticism, I mean, Thwol could, not this turn, but on the second turn, he
yeah.
could do mysticism and meld threes.
No,
But,
because he's still melding ones
There's
because there
two
are two
ones.
ones in the store
right,
pile.
he would meld a one and, draw a one and for the first turn, and then second turn, he would meld a three and draw a three.
Yes.
And depending on the ones he had returned, it may or may
Yep.
not be a red or purple card.
Yeah, he knows, indeed, he knows which ones he returned, and it's which one
Exactly.
gets melded is a 50-50.
Yep.
So that's a possibility.
And if he had returned tools, it would cover pottery, which means that machinery is going to come into effect. But we'll see. Okay, so Jam's turn.
Yeah.
Jam's thinking,
So
and I had to emphasize that they can actually take as much time as they want to think and not
yes.
feel rushed, because I think in one game one player did feel rushed. And actually,
Well,
in
if
my
this is a
game,
tournament, I totally understand.
yeah, it's a tournament and innovation is a lot of thinking. So,
Yep. So yeah, I mean, none of the cards on Jandalla's board are helpful. So he just drew a four, and
nice.
yeah,
Okay.
That actually
okay.
isn't that bad.
Not bad at all. No. Let's see.
So, could do calendar and reformation next turn.
I mean, he has three purple cards. If he could do, yeah, Calendar and Reformation, that actually would help him.
Yeah, because Callan would draw 2/3, which he tucks, and the purple he can display now, and maybe he'll tuck a yellow and be able to display yellow. Um,
The only reason why I wouldn't want to do Calendar is because it draws more threes.
Yes, you got a good point.
yeah, but in the short term, yes, it could be disadvantageous,
Yes.
but in the longer term, it will beef up the board. Otherwise, I mean, the alternative is, if he were just to display Reformation, then what's his second action? If he draws a 4, it gets stolen with construction.
I
So,
think he should draw and then Reformation if he doesn't like the draw.
Right.
mm, that's certainly a possibility. Um, I need to remind myself, since we don't have Thwol commentating, we don't know off the top of my head what the good 4s are. Um,
Let's see. The good
I
fours.
mean, anatomy is not a bad one, which is, return a card from your score pile, return a card of equal value from your board.
Navigation.
Navigation also wouldn't be bad, because obviously clothing is of no use whatsoever. So yeah, there are a couple of reasonable 4s. Printing press, return a card from your score pile, draw a card 2 higher than your top purple card. That would
I
also
mean,
be
then,
good. So there are
I
some
mean,
good
then
4s. Gunpowder, of course, we've talked about before. So yeah, maybe drawing and then if he doesn't like it, using Reformation, and if he does like it, melding it. Not a bad option, but Thwol has to. It's still Thwol's turn.
Alexa, turn light to green. I'm back. I mean, the sooner the guy plays a 3, he can pretty much score the 3. So
Yeah. Was on a 3. Is he going to achieve 2, or is he decided he doesn't need to do that yet?
he might end up returning them both and scoring 6.
It's not heavy. I mean, he wants to level up, right? Because he can achieve 2, but he can't achieve 3 because he doesn't have high enough cards. If he returns them, then
It would remove
yeah,
2 3s from the thing
yeah,
so that he could draw.
that's true. So yeah, could do currency again. No, he likes engineering,
Uh-oh.
which would only get rid of machinery.
Yep.
That's true.
Um,
But what is under?
Machinery, there's nothing under
Nothing under.
machinery.
but that would get rid of the leaf majority,
Hmm.
right? So Jam's only 2 leaves up, and that would get rid of those. So Reformation would be shared, for instance, or other things. I don't know. I mean,
I mean, if his card that's in his hand is a one that has three castles, he could prevent it. If it's not yellow and has three castles. I don't think there's a three castle to yellow.
Uh, Masonry does.
That's a level one.
That's a
Yeah,
yellow one, yeah.
he's got a 2 in his hand. I mean, if he loses machinery, it's not the end. Well, I'm not sure I'd want to mess up my board just to, you know, avoid a castle demand.
Yeah, that's fair.
Besides, engineering is going to splay his red cards left, which would give him castle majority, even if there is masonry on um, Jamdalla's board.
Well, then calendar and then Reformation actually might work just to
Yeah.
tuck three, hold three yellow.
So yeah, the two with all the castles on that we haven't seen is road building, of course, which is my least favourite card in the entire deck.
Why is
It
that?
is a pain. It is a real
That
pain.
card is pretty versatile.
Mm-hmm.
I never seem to get it, so my opponent always get. I mean, last night when Thwol beat me, he used the road building to steal currency, and he also had fermenting, and just went on scored 20 points basically at the start of the game, and I couldn't catch up.
Ah, that
Um,
sucks.
yeah,
Ouch.
That sounds painful.
yeah.
I mean, it
Um,
sounds
So you
like the kind of game where it's like, somebody gets the perfect cards and the other person is left literally kicking something, usually the
yes,
wall.
you
I
get
don't
some.
like games like that.
Anyway, this gets so yeah. Jamdalla. I mean, I would still in Jamdalla's position, I would draw a 4, and as we discussed last time, see what
That
the canal building to avoid that. He
I
still has a majority. I mean, why does he execute? But he's chosen to execute it as well.
no idea why.
Can we remember what?
Oh, because he's gonna draw cards with calendar and then. Boop.
But he was drawing cards with calendar anyway.
No, I bet like a little bit later he'll draw cards with calendar. Now that the guy can't steal his cards,
Yes.
and he'll just put a bunch of cards from his hand, dump them right into his victory point.
Well, he has to beat the 17 points that Thwol has, and
Yeah.
which is a bit painful at this time.
I mean, I don't understand using the action to take that to. I mean, okay, it's well behind. The difference between 2 points and 4 points isn't large, but maybe he just felt he had nothing better to do. Maybe it's a card he wants to meld. He knows what it is.
I
Maybe he wants to tuck it
I
with
don't
Reformation.
understand the two either, to be honest. Let's see what twos there are that could do something.
Uh, it's monotheism, is what the log says was the 2 that was scored.
Oh, it tells you what card goes into the score?
Yeah, if you look down the log, so it's monotheism, which is of no use in a apart from being tuckable. Oh, so he can tuck it. It has and when it's purple and it has a castle on the left. So if he tucks it with Reformation, he gets an extra castle, which maybe he thinks will be useful. I don't. Yeah, not sure.
I mean, it's a purple card that would give him a castle, I guess, but
It. I'm somewhat at a loss.
Well, it could be useful for like Empire if he gets clocks, 3 clocks. He will
But
have
he
three
already
It,
has
castles too.
a castle underneath his purple, so he'll get three purple anyway.
Right.
Three castles anyway, so it's not really needed.
yeah, or flagrant. Yeah, so I don't understand that move. Maybe it will become apparent later. So Thwol has taken the third achievement, not the second,
Right.
which he could also claim.
Wait,
But
how
there's
did
a
he
note,
take the third? Oh, he has threes in his score pile.
yeah, because he melded engineering, so he has three on his board.
Now,
Okay.
to answer you guys' question, why did he draw, what was that, monotheism from his score pile into his hands?
Yep.
If he uses Reformation and plays his yellows and purples, he will not get one more castle unless he tucks monotheism.
But he's several castles down. I don't think there's a.
There's
I mean, it
already
just
one
is very
castle
limited game for now.
underneath.
But
Oh, if he splays it right. Yeah, I don't think it'll show left. Let me take a look.
Exactly.
No, if he splays it right, it won't show, but left it'll show. So if he
yeah,
plays that one now and does it right, it'll be three.
but I mean, we're a long way from getting Empire,
Mm-hmm.
right? The clocks don't show
Right.
up till level 7, and by that point, you might, for instance, have splayed his red cards right, which would give him three castles that way. So I don't see that it's.
If he doesn't like his purple, Reformation's a good time.
And nobody seems to have, what is that, mathematics? Unless the two in James, well, it's not mathematics.
It's,
It's Thwol scored a lot of twos, so there's probably math. Yeah.
it's
Yep.
most likely that.
Um, oh, printing press.
Good
So
job.
okay, yeah. So printing press is good because it's.
Yeah, with Reformation as purple, yeah.
Yep. So that was one of the ones we mentioned as a good four when we think about it. So I would imagine that will be what Jamdalla will do next turn.
Especially because he's only going to lose a one.
Yes.
And problem now is that he does not have agriculture. If he uses printing press and gets a 6, that could have been so good with agriculture.
It could. Um,
Still think
but,
printing press. Let's see
you
if I'm
know,
right. Yep.
so yeah, I mean, this was inevitable, so he's going to do that and presumably meld it. Now he has to worry whether there are cards that, steal things.
But with him splaying things right, he's going to have a little bit of a advantage if he's playing stuff out.
Right, he'll get one
Yes.
more leaf.
Yeah. And he's still, yeah, so while he has the leaf and the crowd majorities, those are the things that are, you know, important at this stage to avoid the cards like banking and societies and enterprise that steal high level cards from your opponent's board that Thwol might use to level up. Because Thwol's still drawing threes, of course, and there's the entire deck of fives and most of the fours to get through. So um,
I bet he drew a purple card.
You never know.
but then he can't. That's
Oh, if it was purple, democracy would be amazing.
Yep, that
democracy would be good. What's the other purple? 6. Emancipation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It would still
Yeah.
work, but it would
Yeah.
give him a
That's,
6.
yeah. So you don't want to draw opponents. 6 industrialization.
Ooh.
Nice card.
That's pretty good. So he'll get to beef up his board and do some splaying.
Aha. Ores. Okay.
So
Well, it's a
he
good
knew
thing
what
he
he
melded.
okay. So that worked out. I don't know. The other one was tools or something.
Yeah, I think it was very strategic. The way he had returned it with currency, he had deliberately returned ores first so that he could.
But doesn't the deck get shuffled whenever cards are returned? So you
No,
can't
they go to the
predict.
bottom.
Nope. No, when you
Oh,
return
okay.
it like this with currency, you know exactly which card you're returning first, so that will get melded first. Others get
Oh, I
trapped
didn't.
under it.
I didn't know that. I thought when cards got returned to the deck was shuffled,
No.
No.
like it is when you use alchemy
Mm-hmm.
or physics and things go back.
Oh, no, no, no. Even then, it doesn't get shuffled. No.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my. Ores is interesting.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Um,
And since Jam doesn't have a bunch of cards in his hands, Ors is not going to do a lot.
okay. That worked out very well. Paul cleared out all the ones, so
Yep,
now mysticism will be melding fours and drawing fours.
yep,
That was a very good, very well thought out share.
yep. Alright, now Jam's
Uh,
turn.
he could printing press, but I don't think he will.
Why would he do that? That draws
I
a
don't
6.
know.
He's
Oh,
already
I'm
drawn
sorry.
6.
I thought it was from hand and not score pile.
No.
I,
But he's already drawing 6s anyway. It doesn't meld you a 6, it draws you one. So I'd imagine industrialization. I can't see why. Okay.
if you don't like it, Reformation. Let's see. He's got to display his cards sooner or later.
Yeah.
So he has a way to display his yellow, his purple, and his red, right?
It's-
Now, just out of curiosity, I didn't see how Jam got the one in his hand.
Thwol shared pottery, and so the second action of pottery
Oh, I see, I
drew.
see.
So it drew a one. It drew a 1 for Jam and a 3 for Thwol, and
Okay.
then the sharing bonus got another 3 for Thwol. So it was
Yep,
it's one of those where you really don't want to accept the share, but you have no choice.
exactly.
Um,
And you know what? If he's
he
gotten
could
a
draw another
crown in his
6
hand, yeah, Ors
and
could.
work on canal building.
Right, but right now it's. I don't see much use of canal building unless he had a bunch of, sixes in his hands, which he doesn't want to do that
I
because of
mean, yeah,
Ors.
Jam can't afford to just blindly draw a card and leave something with a crown in his hand. So, um,
He
presumably the
might be
6
stuck with Reformation.
or industrialization is also an option. What would industrialization?
It would only display and tuck one. I think it'd be better to tuck all of your cards in your hand and display one anyway.
He can do
Mm,
that.
depends on the
The
6 he
cards?
had.
Yes, but he doesn't have to fix.
Sorry?
He could stop playing after a certain amount of cards, right?
No, you may no. If he tucks, he has to tuck 3.
Oh,
He can't stop before that. So reformation would require him to tuck all. I mean, I'm saying him. I don't know what a gender Jamdalla is, but yeah. So reformation would require tucking all the cards, including the 6. Um,
Right, and
and
it
of
isn't.
course would be shared. Would be
Yes.
shared with Thwol.
Yeah.
you're right. It would be. And
So
industrialization does look, or play the 6.
yes, but maybe it's a purple 6 with a crown and it doesn't want to give up the leaflet. You know, there's lots of issues here. Um, I mean, if it were a purple 6, you'd meld it because then printing press would give you an 8 next turn. At least that's what I would do. Um, so
That
presumably
would be
it's
nice.
not. So it's presumably not purple, but yeah, maybe the one or the 2 that he's got has a crown on it, and Thwol knows that, right? Thwol knows what the 1 is in Jamdalla's hand, and the 2, I think,
Yes.
because they were things that were scored. So, you know, Jamdalla's obviously worried about this leaving that, and Thwol might use oars and could score quite a lot.
Yeah, there it
Okay,
is.
there's another 2, which is mathematics, which is better than printing press in some regards, with that 6. So
Yeah, the 7s are where they truly start to get powerful in my mind.
some of the 7s, yeah. 6s are good, yeah, and then 8, yeah. It just starts to get silly after that. So you can,
And this is one advantage is staying ahead, so
yeah.
although if he did the Reformation, with that many cards he most likely has a yellow or a purple. Never mind. I was about to say
Yeah,
with
no,
the
yes. I'm sure Thwol would get a splay by um, so currency is an option for Thwol again. Could pick up some, would score a 3 and a 4. Although if he returned the 1, then mysticism obviously would meld it, so that would lose some of the advantages of mysticism. So okay, so he ran mysticism, got navigation, which is not helpful, particularly.
no.
Although it helps with crowns, and if he draws enterprise,
But he
then
still has mysticism, so I think it's worth
yes,
doing again.
depends on the 4 he's got in his hand. But yeah, I don't think there's a danger of covering up a really useful card. Right, Thwol's going to get the 4th achievement. Right, there's no way Jamdalla can score quickly enough.
With mathematics, it's possible to score, but not to score a ton.
Mathematics doesn't score you; it just
No,
melds.
mathematics will meld something that could
Yes.
potentially score, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So things like well, vaccination, which is a good one, is a level 6. So things that steal cards from your opponent's score pile would be very good for Jamdalla to have, like vaccination, but that's a 6. Um, combustion is a 7, is another good one. So, okay, so Thwol's activated pottery and is giving Jamdalla the option of using it, which he probably won't, but will
I mean, he
again
has
give,
a couple of ones.
yeah,
I think you would pass.
yes.
Well, he will still draw the bonus card, but we'll see. Yeah.
So Thwol's returned that 4 because obviously he didn't like it, um, and has got himself 2 other 4s. So that was pretty good. Um, and of course, Jamdalla's back in the issue of has the 4 that he's got, is it susceptible to ores?
Let's see if mathematics comes into play.
Yeah. I mean, Reformation would not be shared now, is another thing, but that would. Okay, so he's done mathematics and he's got sanitation, which is not a bad option.
He would take both of his 4s.
Yep, and if
Yeah,
those fours are crowns, then he's screwed.
that's true.
People have shared, people have done
Yeah.
machinery to me, and I had a bunch of crowns in my hands. Of course, I owed
There's
them.
Reformation.
So yeah, Reformation. Yeah,
Or
I think Reformation isn't a bad. I mean, my concern from Jamdalla's place now is uh, actually no, it's not no because Enterprise isn't dangerous because it's just, Jamdalla gets a choice and can just hand over clothing or something.
yep.
At least, but the danger is that eventually he would have to cede industrialization, and Thwol would be right back up, in terms of age. So Reformation isn't a bad option. And then, next turn could draw a 7 and use mathematics again to get an 8.
unless, yeah. Even industrialization, just something to display something. I don't know if he wants to draw right now.
Well, he's very far behind in score, which is the scary part. And
Oh,
against
there's
ores, it's even scarier. Anything is susceptible to ores. Anything up to level, you know, 7 is very, very
Yes,
susceptible.
but that's yeah. So Jamdalla can't just draw a card on a second
actually
act.
there's only 3 cards in 7 that would be affected by that.
Yeah, but you have. I mean, I played a game, and I think the same thing happened. I was drawing 9s, and I thought, I think there are only 2 cards with crowns with 9s, so I
Right.
drew them both on my first action, thinking, well, I can meld one if the one with a crown if I'm unlucky, and they both had crowns, and my opponent used 4s and got them. So it was like a 5% chance or something like that of so it's always a risk.
Oh gosh.
Um, but Thwol I mean, Oars doesn't give the card to your opponent; it scores it, and Thwol has ways of actually no, because currency's gone. Well, Thwol can score with agriculture, right?
Yes.
Thwol can score several points in a turn to get achievements, so it's not a huge.
You might have to do risks then anyway.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think industrialization is fine, or reformation.
I
I
think
don't.
industrialization is not a good idea because that will wipe out the sixes. I mean, maybe
Well,
once.
only one of the. only one of the sixes. So we had gunpowder was susceptible.
Yep.
Why didn't he melt gunpowder and use it? Dang. He would have
We couldn't
scored
have done this
4.
turn, but yeah, that would have been
Since he
that would
already
have
had a 7 on the board, it's not like
yeah.
gunpowder, would have covered the high card.
I kind of agree with you. I think that would have
It does make sense.
been a very good move. Because he scores some points. The bonus card is a 4, and then would be a 5. Thwol would lose his purple card, so clothing would be another way. Jamdalla could easily have scored 15 points
Yep.
in one turn or something, and been right back in it score wise. That's the thing. He needs, it's all very well being high in levels or having more symbols, but unless he's got a way to get cards into his score pile, he's just going to slowly lose. Because
He might have to rush the end.
Thwol can achieve 4. We'll be able to achieve 5 very soon, and that will give him 5 achievements. And
Excuse me. I had to cough. So, yeah, I didn't want to cough in the mic. Well, anyway, so I think Thwol already has a 4 on board. He may or may
yeah,
not choose mysticism again.
I think Thwol knows what that 4 is, or might
Yes.
do. It might be the one that he returned. It's probably the one that he returned or read it right first of all
It's very
with
possible.
pottery,
He
because
might
that
have
that
returned it
that just stays at
right.
the bottom of the pile. That's all. So he didn't want that. So he's okay. So he's using pottery again to force sharing,
Hmm.
and maybe ores will take an option. Maybe he'll use mysticism and meld a 5. I mean, there's just so many.
I don't know. Either a cheat, maybe not cheat, but ores. If he knows if it has a.
See, thing is that even without using ores, he's still doing so good. Even with sharing pottery and all that stuff, he is
Yeah,
doing well.
but I mean, ores is always a threat, right?
Always,
So
yes.
it hasn't been used, but its presence forced Jamdalla
I think
to
he's to
gunpowder and
draw
tools.
and either mathematics it or meld it.
He doesn't want to mathematics it because it could go over. A random meld could go over sanitation. They'll be down 1 level. So it
No, it'll
draws a
be 8, not
yeah
9.
yeah.
If
So
he
it draws a
draws
7, and depending on what it is, he
exactly.
will either meld it or use mathematics. So he obviously doesn't think it's that helpful, and he's got skyscrapers, which is not helpful
No.
because when you're several ages ahead of your opponent doesn't have any clocks. So
Oh, that's
um,
terrible. Oh, he is so unlucky. Guess he has to wait for another 8 or 9.
so Thwol's just achieved 4 and 5.
Bummer.
I
Yep.
mean, this is yeah. So maybe Jamdalla just needs to draw an 8, draw a 9, and hope that he gets, manages to meld a 10, but
I
has
hope he
some.
gets mass media, to be honest.
Which one, sorry? Oh, mass media.
Oh, yeah.
I have to remind myself of mass media. Um, that's not a
Maybe
bad
talk
card. Yeah,
about
choose a card. So, yeah, he's going to go for 9s. I mean, you could meld a 10, there are 10s have automatic winning conditions that, can just cause you to win even when you're in this sort of hole. What's he got?
Okay.
He melted
Computer
composites.
composites is pretty good, although he doesn't want all those cards because they'll get all out of his hand.
He has
Yes.
rough formation. He'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Indeed, he'll get 5 and we'll tuck 5. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he
And
doesn't
he's
get a
gonna
big.
get, yeah, but he's only gonna get a 4 from his score. And Thwol
Yes.
is still gonna go
But
ahead and share
it
machine,
reduces it by 4.
reduces it by 4, yes. Now see, Thwol has steam engine, which would
Yeah.
actually get rid of the 5s.
Yes. And it would be shared.
Yes,
So that's certainly that's something I might expect Thwol to do.
absolutely. Yep, that's a dangerous card, and he is, he's doing pretty well for being behind on age.
Yes.
Gets rid of the 5, and then all it is mysticism. After he shares steam engine, wipes out the 5s. 2 5, there are 7 5s left. 4 5s plus 2 of the um, what's that thing?
Plus humans. So
Yeah,
yeah, steam engine would use up 5 5s in this turn.
yeah, 2 bonuses.
Yeah. Huh.
That was unexpected.
Yes.
I mean, it gives him the crown
To
majority.
have the symbol.
Yeah, but what is he gonna get? 1?
Okay, aha. So okay, so fine. So it's just going to get away,
He is just
and
going.
that's
Yep.
the fat lady is singing, as they say, or is it
Alrighty.
all under the
GG.
stage? Um,
He got all the right cards.
Now it
yeah.
depends on what that 4 is in his hand. Or if he can mathematics it and chance it for something.
I mean, what
Achievement.
cards?
Let me see. So,
I mean, because if it's enterprise would be no good because he doesn't have the crowd majority and can't force it. I don't think there's.
No, it's game over. He's gonna get the world achievement next, right?
Well, unless Jamdalla has a way to steal a card from Thwol's board.
or to or to meld, or to
Yeah.
activate a shit dog group.
Or to force,
Yeah, banking would work.
Right now, nothing is gonna work. I mean, because he has the
Yeah.
crown
No, a
majority.
banking would take his themed engine from him.
No, it wouldn't. Because he can't demand with crowns.
It's not a crown card. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. No, it is. Damn.
Yes.
Give me
It doesn't
one
have
moment.
anything like sailing where you just make your opponent meld something. So I don't see that there's anything they can do. So what did Thwol say? If composites had arrived one move early, he would have destroyed the plan. Right, okay.
Actually, societies. No, it's a crown.
Yep.
Yeah.
All those demands are, crown demands are ineffective.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, there's no.
I didn't realize how important crowns were. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Thwol actually has a philosophy that he prefers to have more crowns and more leaves.
Yes, those are in the middle game. Well, I mean, factories can also be important, but crowns and leaves in the sort of middle to late game can be very powerful in either stealing your opponent's cards or emptying their score pile. it can be very dangerous if you're well behind on those, because you can just, you know, even if you're well up in score, you can lose sort of 20 points off your score pile in a turn, and then you thought you were ahead, and now it's just all gone. Which is what happened to me against Thwol last night as well. So
I have to
yeah,
replay that game.
Yeah, I think this one's over.
yeah.
I always like rooting for the underdog.
No, he says he has to draw banking, but banking is no good.
He returned a 4 to meld a 6.
2-4.
Yeah, he wanted banking, but didn't realise that he couldn't have.
He couldn't do anything with
Yeah, he
banking.
couldn't use it with banking, so there was no. I think Thwol is going to tell him that that wasn't that wouldn't have worked anyway. I don't know if we're allowed to type into the chat.
Toying with them.
Yeah.
Right, and see, banking is a crown demand, like, yeah, we already shared, and it could not have stolen anything.
Yeah.
Madison.
Yeah. So here we go. Yeah, he will pass, and that will be it.
Yep, good game.
Yeah.
Interesting game. Very interesting. It was one-sided, and both played as good as they could. It was great game.
Yeah, we're still not sure. Maybe if Jamdalla can get to join us, we'll understand why he tucked gunpowder instead of melding it.
Yeah.
That because that's the thing I think that we were all questioning at the time.
Okay.
What up, what up?
Well done.
Thanks.
So I don't know if Jamdalla is going to be able to join us for some.
No, I hope so.
There are a couple interesting choices.